biggest gateways into landing a job you love is landing and acing your job interviews. Most people will go into an interview prepared with all the right things to say, but have you thought about what not to say? Hello friend, I'm AshleyStahl, career expert, host of the U-Turn podcast, and author of the best-selling book, also named U-Turn. And my purpose in the world is to help you create a career that really lights you up. Let's get into things that you should never say in a job interview. Number one, I don't get along with my boss. Okay, so even if your last manager was an absolute bosszilla, you never want to badmouth a former employer or colleague during a job interview. Instead, focus on what you're grateful for having learned, and if they ask you why you're leaving your job and your bosszilla is truly to blame, neutrally mention something else that's also been missing for you in your job. For example, if you're behind a computer all day, but you're a people person wanting more human connection, that you can mention. The list goes on. True story, when I interned in fashion in my early 20s, I saw the CEO of a company literally throw a stapler at someone. And yet when people asked me why I was leaving my internship, as tempting as it was to say my boss is crazy, I instead found something else that was also true to share. That while I was grateful for learning the ins and outs of the fashion world, I wanted to transition into national security, which is what I studied in college. In a survey of over 500 hiring professionals across the country, Jazz HR found that 81% of respondents agreed that bad-mouthing a previous employer or colleagues during the hiring process looks bad. They know that if you talk badly about an old employer, you probably wouldn't hesitate to one day do the same to them. Not the vibe that you want to give off. Number two, saying, "I don't have any questions," is a huge mistake in your interviews. When the interviewer asks if you have any questions, you are stepping into a huge opportunity to show them how you think and what kind of results you plan to create for them. Employers want people who are interested and engaged in the role, which is why your questions are a key opportunity to demonstrate that. There's no way anyone can become completely clear about a company and position in just one conversation or job interview. And hiring managers know this. Telling them you have no questions sends a message to employers that you are not super interested or engaged. Here are a few top questions I love to hear that my clients asked in their job interviews. Number one, what does success look like in this position? Or another way of being more specific with this is, if I was incredibly successful in this role, what would be happening at the company within the next 90 days? Showing that you're a results-driven and focused person is so healing for employers. You also get them excited with this question because you allow them to step into their vision for the role, which is why they're hiring. Let me tell you, when I'm hiring, I feel so seen when someone invites me to tell them all the magic things I want them to make happen. Another question to ask is, what does a typical day look like in this role? A third question you can ask is, what kind of personality do you think is a perfect fit for this role? I hope these starters get you inspired to fully step into asking questions at the end of the interview. I have tons of job interview videos here on my YouTube channel, and I hope they help. Number three, saying, "Sorry, I'm really nervous," is not the way you want to start a job interview. No one wants to hire people with low confidence. If you have low confidence, it's okay. Work on it, or even read my best-selling book, U-Turn. Get unstuck, discover your direction, design your dream career. But never, never, never show them that you're scared. They'll not be able to help themselves, but wonder, where else is this fear going to show up in the job? Is this going to hurt their performance? You don't need them wondering this. Number four, saying the words, "I don't know how to do that," is a huge mistake in your interviews. It's okay that you don't know how to do everything, but never tell someone that you don't know how to do something without also saying, "but I'm willing to learn." Number five, saying perfectionism is my greatest weakness is a huge mistake. Now, if an employer asks you what your biggest weakness is, I know that this could come off as just an answer that you think positions you in a really good light, and there are payoffs for companies who hire perfectionists, but they've heard this one before. Instead, be vulnerable and be honest about something you're working on. We have a YouTube video about this. Make sure to check it out on how to answer the question, what's your biggest weakness? Number six, How much vacation time will I get? Okay, I love vacation and it's probably front of mind. That being said, having this on your mind during your interview is like telling someone on a first date that you have commitment issues. Just don't do it. Wait until the job offer is in your hand to discuss that one. Number 7, one of the worst things you can say in an interview is, one day I want to start my own business doing this. These words are the kiss of death for me when I'm hiring, because what I'm really hearing someone say is, I want you to invest all your time into me as a hire so I can learn everything you know, and then I'm gonna leave you high and dry and find someone else to do it while I get to start a business doing what you're doing. It's not about a competitive mindset, it's about a responsible mindset. Business owners want their talent to stay. We're often told just to be ourselves, and I truly do believe in that when it comes to job interviews. That being said, remember, there are many different versions of you, and I want to encourage you to show up in the most professional and confident version of you, ready to bring the value and make an impact. And a lot of that means you don't have to share everything on your mind. So what about you? What do you think is the worst thing you could say in a job interview? I'd love for you to comment below, subscribe to this channel, and share it with a friend in need with a job interview around the corner. And in the meantime, I'll see you next week.